All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Life Coaching Mentorship Series with Kelsey Wirtz. And this is where you get a unique behind the scenes journey of me working and mentoring a new life coach over the course of 3 months as she builds her online life coaching business. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So we're going to start off with our wins. So I'm pulling up the session prep form here. And Kelsey, you said a win that you want to celebrate together is you planned your first reel on Instagram and have been keeping up with your bullet journal. What is it when you say planned first reel on Instagram? What does that mean?
So it's like the TikTok version of Instagram. So it's like a super short form, 1 minute video just of various things. So I'm focusing on mindset and becoming confident and just general life coach wellness things.
Cool. Nice. I'll have to check that out. That seems really fun and a
Yeah,
cool.
I love it.
Yeah, love that. And yeah, I know that you talked about last time too that the bullet journaling was going really well for you.
Yeah, it's just been a great way to keep myself accountable.
Great. Oh, I love hearing when my clients are finding things that are helping with their accountability.
hmm
Right, because that's a big thing with life coaching is, I'm your guide and your mentor, and I don't want you to be dependent on me. Like I'm here to help and support, but a lot of times where I see coaches go wrong is they'll kind of unknowingly make their clients dependent on them. And, this relationship isn't meant to last forever. So my whole goal is to help you to be as independent as possible. So one day when we're not working together, you feel like you can hold yourself accountable and you can get through these, tougher situations. So I love hearing that. Awesome. Okay. So next is what goals were you able to accomplish since our last session? You said you scheduled an Instagram post about Christianity and spirituality. You planned a YouTube video on spirituality and you planned a live on spirituality. So that is incredible. Sounds like you're keeping up with your content plan. And so yeah, tell me a little bit more about how those turned out for you.
Yeah, so I posted on Instagram yesterday on Monday, and it was amazing the feedback that I've gotten back so far, and just how if I feel validated for feeling the way that I'm feeling, kind of caught between two worlds, but then realizing like I can make my own little world, like the inside of a Venn diagram. So it just has been so liberating and empowering and exciting to see that there's a space needed for that in other people's lives.
Yes. And I can really feel you've taken your power back in this situation.
Yeah, and it feels so good.
Yeah, so just to let all of you know who that's watching, full disclosure, Kelsey and I actually did do a session last week that I decided not to use for this YouTube channel because I had traveled all weekend in Chicago. I had drank a bunch of alcohol and ate a bunch of carbs and sweets, and I just was not on my A game. So that's actually a really good reason to keep up with your exercise and your health and wellness so you can really show up for your clients. So last week, what we talked about was Kelsey was really struggling because she felt like she had one foot in the door in the Christianity world and one foot in the door in the spirituality world. And didn't really know how to navigate between those two worlds. And so I was really helping her to explore, like, why can't she create her own reality and create more of like her own tribe of having that combination of both and not feeling like you have to choose like one or the other or have it compete against each other. So it makes me happy that you're like really owning your story and what you believe in, and you're putting content out there and showing people that you can be both. You can be Christian and spiritual at the same time. And again, I don't see a lot of people doing that, and I think it's so badass and awesome.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to have created that own reality for myself.
Absolutely. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of positive feedback from people who are like, oh my gosh, me too. I've been waiting to find someone who also like has these same beliefs as me. And you might also get some criticism and judgment too. And as we like to say, like, it's okay when we trigger people, because it's an opportunity to help heal people and to bring new growth into people's lives. And I know it's not fun to trigger people. It's not fun to get trolls on the internet and all that, but it's a part of speaking up and using your voice. And Kelsey, if that ever does happen and you feel like it's getting out of control, I have some tools and I can help you to navigate through the haters. Because really, the more powerful and the louder you get, the more haters you're going to come across. And again, it's a good thing. It means you're doing your job properly. So, all right. Now, the next question, what goals were you not able to get done? You said that you were able to get everything accomplished. So is that still the case?
Yeah, everything is written out and scheduled and ready to go just for the day to come to post it.
All right. Awesome. I love it. You're on top of things. Perfect. Okay. So for today, you said you want to focus on, you feel like there's a block in building your business and you want to break through this ineffective mindset. So tell me a little bit more what's going on there.
Yeah, I feel like towards the beginning of the week, I have a lot of things scheduled through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that are just general, like, development things or coaching things, or I have my coaching class on Wednesday. So I feel like I'm really motivated those 3 days to get things done because I have my schedule set up that way. But then once like Friday hits and into the weekend, I like to take Saturdays or Sundays off, one of the two, but there are still things that I need to get done, especially the back half a day of Thursday and Friday. But I'm just really not feeling the push on those days to get things done, even though those are the most available days that I have to be able to get some work in and prep for the next week and talk to potential new clients and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is, like, the beginning of the week, you have all this energy and this motivation and in your scheduling and planning and doing a lot of that. By the time the end of the week comes, you're kind of losing that motivation and you're not taking the actions that you want to be taking in your business at this time.
Yeah, and I think that it falls more on the things that I personally need to do that I can't rely on like a scheduling app to do it for me. So with all of my social media content, I usually block it on Monday and then batch it on Monday rather, and then it just all goes up automatically. So either it goes up or I have to push a button and I get a notification for it. So like super straightforward. But then it's the like reaching out to people and building connections and the real like growth building that I'm struggling to find the motivation for.
And that, yeah, those two things, like the engaging, building connections, relationships, that is actually one of the most important parts of your business. Content is super important, but this part is actually, I would say, the most important, right? Because that's where clients come from, is building those connections and those relationships. And I know that is one of your top goals, is to bring on 2 new paying clients. So it sounds like we kind of need to rework your current schedule and make sure that we're prioritizing and getting this in when you're feeling the most motivated. I think it's really normal and common by the end of the week to be feeling, like, you're like, I'm just ready for the weekend. I want to relax and chill. And it's kind of similar with the start of the day versus the end of the day. And at the start of the day, it's known that we have our most energy. And then as the day goes on, that's when we tend to lose motivation. And one of my business coaches, Lacey, she tries to get her clients, instead of like pushing their business off to do stuff towards the end of the day, she wants them to work on their business first at the beginning of the day when they have the most motivation and they can get that done. And then they don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. It's kind of the same thing with working out too. With a lot of my clients, if they find that they keep saying they're going to go to the gym and they don't do it because by the end of the day they're too tired, we're like, okay, can you do it on your lunch schedule? Can you wake up an hour earlier and do it in the morning? And so kind of thinking we need to figure out these activities that you're saving towards the end of the week. Can we maybe move them up towards the beginning of the week when you are feeling more motivated and inspired? What's your thoughts around that?
I think that'll definitely help. I think also I'm struggling with what I should be doing. Like content comes naturally to me. I have a degree in marketing. I understand social media. It's the business building, connection building, relationship building that I'm really struggling with because it's doesn't come as naturally to me. And so it's just because it doesn't come naturally to me, I'm not as motivated. And then I'm also lost in like what I should actually be doing.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So that's kind of maybe more of the real issue then.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a common thing too, is yeah, it's like what even should I what should I be doing? What action should I be taking in order to hit my goal? And so I have a suggestion, but let's kind of work backwards here. So your goal was to bring on 2 new paying clients, and have them bringing in $400 each per month. So basically, we need to have you doing activities that's going to lead to that. And one of the best things is getting on the phone with people.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when people work one-on-one with a coach, it's because they've gone on the phone with them. Usually if someone gets on the phone with you, they're already like 50% interested in working with you. Right. So what I would suggest is have you done any like connection calls or virtual coffee dates or market research calls lately?
Not lately, no. I did it when I was first starting, when I first started my coaching program, but I haven't done it recently.
Okay. So, and then what about, have you offered any free like sample calls or assessment calls or coaching calls to your audience lately?
I have, yeah. But I don't think I was promoting it as I should have been.
Okay, so I think, yeah, let's get you on the phone with people right now. And because that's going to get your confidence up, it's going to get the momentum flowing. It's going to give you even more ideas for your content and building those relationships. And I think once you do that, you'll start to see the forward movement with the connections and everything. So I guess out of all of those things I just suggested, which out of like doing the market research calls and like the connection calls and like free sample coaching calls, like which sounds the most fun and exciting for you right now?
Doing the sample coaching calls, doing the discovery sample coaching ones.
Okay, so you said you've done that before. Tell me a little bit more about, how that's worked for you in the past.
It's been me just putting it out there saying, hey, I'm a new life and wellness coach, would love to start working with some people. Then it call schedule, like feel free to sign up and then we can talk about more what my offerings are.
Perfect.
That
And
was when I was doing pro bono though. So it was easy to be like, hey, I'm doing this for free. Like, so it's just no stakes.
yeah, definitely. Well, and I see that a lot. I see a lot of new coaches is they'll do like a couple of pro bono clients, and then after that they stop offering free things. And then what usually happens is their confidence drops because they don't have a full roster. And to be honest, I still do free stuff all the time. I'm getting ready to offer a free group coaching call in my Facebook group every month. I love doing free stuff as much as possible because that's where honestly a lot of my clients come from, right? Because they get to know me through the free stuff and then they want to hire me, or they want to do my online course, or maybe something smaller before they work with me. But so yeah, doing free stuff is not bad whatsoever. I mean, I don't know what your relationship is with it, but I remember for the longest time I kind of had this like ego type of thing where I'm like, oh, I can't do free stuff anymore, like that's beneath me. And it's like, no, free stuff is the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, what's your thoughts around that?
No, I'm definitely open to free stuff. For giving free stuff and giving my services into at least starting to build relationships and getting those introductions.
Yeah, definitely. And then, right, you can start to build up the testimonials, and you can even ask for referrals that way as well. And yes, this is going to be a great way to get some, hopefully some paying clients for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like this has worked for you well in the past of doing these posts on Instagram, and people have responded and said yes to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So what does that look like for you? Like, do you offer a 60-minute sample session and they will walk away with like a guaranteed result, or how do you usually set those up?
Yeah, I usually have a goal for the session, like for people who want to build confidence or want to start on a new wellness journey or kind of give it a topic. Um, the last one was definitely focused on wellness because I was definitely starting to brand myself as a wellness coach. And
Mm,
so I think that I want to focus more either on confidence because I'm kind of been going in that direction lately. That's been
sure.
really great. And so I think when I'm starting to make these decisions, I always go back to my three pillars, which are like mind, body, soul. So kind of doing an offering maybe like once a month or once every 2 months that follows one of those pillars and then just
Mhm.
cycle through them.
Okay. So mind, body, soul. And then you also talked about confidence as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I love that when you're offering like an assessment or a sample coaching call to have it be really specific and focused on results. A lot of times I see people put out there of like, hey guys, I'm offering a free 60-minute coaching call. And really, it's people don't sign up for coaching, they sign up for results. That's what gets people excited. So if you could say something along the lines of like, hey guys, I'm offering a free complimentary confidence call. And by the end of the call, we're going to help you to figure out what's the number one block for you with your confidence right now. Like that is so much more exciting for people to say yes to because it's so specific and results driven.
Hmm.
Yeah. Or even like going for the mind, body, soul. What do you how do you think that could look like if like you were going to do something around mind that you could have them walking away with a specific result? What would that look like?
I think confidence would definitely fall under mind for me. And then body, focus on like wellness, fitness, all of that. And then soul, I've been leaning into a lot of like intuition and spirituality and starting to just grow my own relationship with that. So I think once I become more in tune with myself with that, then it'll be easier to offer it as a possible result.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I would say get really, really clear on what the pain points are with all of
Mhm.
this, right? Like instead of just saying like, I'm going to help you with your wellness,
Mhm.
that's so broad, right?
Right.
Like, what is a specific thing that your audience is struggling with when it comes to their wellness? Do you know that answer right now?
Having a set exercise routine.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. Why do they struggle with having a set exercise routine?
They're really busy, and when they're busy, that sometimes is the first thing that goes because it's an easy thing to just cross off, to just ignore, because they don't necessarily have done it for so long that they realize the true benefits of it.
Hmm. Okay. So maybe we could help them to figure out why they keep saying that they're going to work out and then they don't work out, or
Hmm.
they don't show up to the gym or
Hmm.
something like what's really getting in the way of them consistently working out.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. So it sounds like we have a plan here. How many of these sessions would you want to offer people over the next month?
I think I would want to have 10 spots
Okay.
for each coaching session.
So 10 spots. So would that be 10 per month or would that be 30 per month?
So that would be 10 per month with each month having like an overarching
Oh, like a theme.
question. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I would say 30 would be a lot for 1 month. So I
Yeah.
think that 10 sounds like a really good number. And then when do you want to start officially like advertising these by?
Next week.
Okay. Next week. And you're going to do that through like Instagram stories, Instagram posts, or this new reel thing, or
Yeah,
all
it's
of the above?
all. Yeah. So Instagram and Facebook and my email list.
Cool. Perfect. And if you want me to look over your copy at all, I'm happy to do that to make sure you have a really strong call to action and we're really clear on addressing your client's pain points and desires and everything. So you can always send that my way if you want me to take a look at it. I mean, I know this is you have a background in marketing, you love doing content already, you're already good at this, but sometimes, it helps to have a second
Yeah, I
set of eyes
appreciate
on
that.
something.
Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time structuring things like this when it comes to offerings and call to actions. I'm more of a storyteller, so when it comes then to the strategic part of the copy, I'm not super strong in it.
Sure, yeah. And that's a big gap I do see in the coaching industry. And that was a big gap for me for the longest time, as well as I would just like put all this really awesome content out, but I wouldn't have a call to action. And I was like, why is nobody booking with me? Why is no one reaching out to hire me? And it was because I was not telling people what to do.
Mhm.
And we assume that people know what to do, but they don't. Like we have to like, I always say you have to like act like you're talking to like a 5-year old. You have to literally like be so simple and lay it out exactly like what people need to do to hire you or what they need to do next to work with you.
Your content calendar has been really helping me though, with giving me a spot to have a call to action for every single thing that I do. It just gives me another way to look at it and tie it in.
Good. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Perfect. Okay, so you came to the call with wanting to figure out like why you weren't feeling more motivated by the end of the week and to get things done with reaching out to people and connecting. Then we figured out it was really more about struggling around what should you be doing. Are you feeling complete around that right now?
I'm feeling better. I think I'm still feeling some hesitation around it, and I'm trying to discover what that is. I don't know what the hesitation is right now, but I'm a little nervous, I think, just about doing it.
Okay, yeah. What are you feeling nervous around?
Um, I think I'm nervous that I'm going to be overselling, but then like my marketing brain is like, well, you need to have like 11 touch points or something before someone actually follows through. So I know there's no possible way that I could be overselling, but it's still just like a hiccup.
Sure. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's a really common fear is like, am I going to be too loud? Am I going to be too noisy, too annoying? Am I going to bother people? It's kind of like, am I going to get rejected? Type of like inner child type of stuff going on. I can definitely relate to that. My clients go through this a lot. So I just want to confirm like what you're feeling is it's okay, it's normal. And so tell me like in your mind when you think of like overselling, like what kind of bad things would happen?
Making people turned off to what I offer.
Okay. What other bad things would happen?
It all centers around what people think of me. Like just them thinking I'm annoying or that like who am I to be doing this, and there's
Mhm.
a lot of objections from other people.
Yeah. Has anything like this happened in the past where you've promoted something or you've invited people to something and they got turned off or you annoyed them?
No, it's all in my head.
Where do you think this fear came from?
um I don't know. I think it's just I feel like I'm really young, and a couple people have mentioned like, oh, like do you really think like a 24-year-old, 25-year-old should be doing this and trying to like coach someone through life when you've barely lived yours?
Wow. Who, I mean, you don't have to say their names, but like, is it like friends or family who said this, that you were too young?
Yeah, family.
Family. Okay. Yeah, that's so hard. It's so hard because our family tries to protect us and keep us safe. But really, it can be so damaging to our self-esteem and our confidence, especially when we're so vulnerable in this new stage of creation and building a new business. So I totally get how frustrating that can be. And it's like you love them, but at the same time, it's like thanks, but no thanks.
Hmm.
So obviously, we need to have some boundary work here. So what would that look like? What would that look like to stand up for yourself, to your family, and to establish some new boundaries there so they don't affect your work?
I think the boundary would be like, as long as I'm not hurting myself or others, like it shouldn't matter. Um, so I think just me on myself, just radiating positivity and being excited and knowing that I can't change other people's opinions. And that's okay. And everyone's entitled to have their own opinion, but just how I can change my own thoughts and influence my own emotions.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Can I share a story with you about something that happened with my family when I was traveling around the world?
Please.
Okay. So after I lost my nursing job and I went through my divorce and my life just completely turned upside down, and I decided to sell all my things and travel all over the world for 2 years and do my eat, pray, love journey. My family was terrified. They thought I was having a mental breakdown, and they thought that me leaving the United States, that I was going to like die instantly, because they view the whole world as like, everyone just has guns and knives, and it's not like that at all. But that was what was going on in their mind, is like the entire world is at war and our baby girl is in so much danger. And so every new country that I was getting ready to go to, I went to over 40 countries during that time, and they would be like, okay, what country are you going to next? And I would tell them, and they would send me all these like news articles and websites and things of like, oh, well, a person died in this country yesterday and another person got robbed here. And, but yet there's all these things happening in the United States that's way worse and way more dangerous. And I just got to a point where I was like, this is not helpful for me. It's scaring me. Right. And like, that's the work for a solo female traveler. That is the worst thing that you can do for her, is to have her be scared as she's traveling by herself throughout the world. And so I finally just got to a point where I got on the phone with my dad. He had texted me and he's like, we really don't want you going to this place. We want you coming home. We don't feel like you're safe. And I was like, listen, Dad, I love you. I know you're trying to keep me safe. I appreciate you, but what I need from you, this is where I got really firm. And I said, what I need from you is to, instead of sending me this stuff that's not helping me to feel confident, I need you to help me to feel like a more confident traveler, because I'm not coming home anytime soon. I'm having an amazing time. This is what I want to do right now. And I need you to support that. And if you want to help me, you can send me websites or articles or whatever of how to help me to be safer in these countries and more aware of current events. And like that changed everything, right? Because like I took my power back. I stood firm. I had my boundaries, and I said, you're not going to do this anymore because it's not helping me. It's not serving me. So what are you hearing for yourself in that story?
I'm hearing that I can't let other people influence my thoughts, and that I have the ability to have these conversations and to feel how I'm feeling too. That it isn't a one-sided conversation. It's definitely two-sided when it's talking about my own life. Um,
Yes.
so to just lean into that and it's okay to have these conversations and it's valid to have these conversations, but to not be submissive and then be upset over it. Like
Right.
I owe it to myself.
Hmm. I love that. I love what you said about this not being one-sided conversation, because it's very one-sided right now. Like they're getting to say their opinions and you're not getting to come back with your voice and your truth in this conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I know a lot of times too, for me, for the longest time, I was scared to speak up because I was like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to come off as like a bitch. And, but really, you can come from this beautiful place of love and caring energy when you stand up for yourself. And that's where starting off with an acknowledgement is the best way to go. So, like I did with my dad, like, Dad, I know you care about me. I know you love me. And I'm so grateful for that. And right, and then you always add that and, but this is what I need from you, right? So you could do something similar to that family, like tell them that you're grateful and thankful and you appreciate what they're doing, but then also that you are, you've invested a lot of money and time, and this is an actual real professional career, and you would appreciate if they would be able to support you, because that's going to be more helpful for you moving forward versus doubting your skills and your abilities.
Mhm.
So, is that a conversation that you're interested in having with your family if they mention something about your age again in the near future?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I don't know if you're somewhat like, for me, I would always have to write things down first to get it out of my head before I would have a conversation with someone, or I'd always like have to talk to my therapist or my coach first. Um,
Mhm.
just for me, like direct confrontation is really challenging. So, what's your relationship like with confrontation?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time thinking about it or talking it out with people. I think that journaling would be really effective for me. I just haven't found the right rhythm with that yet, but I think this is something I definitely want to like get out on paper and
Yeah.
discover how I'm feeling myself in a deeper way. Um, but I used to be really scared of confrontation, but now I feel like I've kind of, not that I've leaned into it, but just that I've understood the power that an individual actually has and then the power that you have. So just trusting my gut and trusting my intuition has been really helpful in that.
Good. Good. Yeah. And the more that you believe in yourself, the more your family will believe in you.
Hmm.
It really is true. And that's what happened with my dad. Like once I started to like tell myself, like, no, I'm safe and this is okay for me to travel, then like he started respecting me because I respected myself first. And I stopped looking towards other people for their approval.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like when we don't approve of ourselves and we're looking for outside approval, that's when we're always going to feel that like fear of judgment and not feeling confident in ourselves.
Hmm.
And it's just something, it takes practice. And I love that you're starting this work earlier rather than later. Honestly, I wish I would have started training to become a life coach in my 20s because, like, oh my gosh, 34 now. I started when I was 30, or no, a little bit earlier than 30. But like, gosh, I am so jealous of you, Kelsey. I wish so badly I would have started this work where you are right now.
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel like doing it now, like I'm only going to grow. So having this foundation is really helpful.
Definitely. Yeah, so I appreciate you being honest and open and sharing where the nervousness was coming from with selling, and then we figured out it was really kind of that your family's voice in your head telling you that are you feeling that you might be too young to help guide other people with their lives. So where are you at now with that conversation?
I I feel like I'm ready. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's just like put in the work and do it now.
Yeah. And prove them wrong, right? Like show them that you can be so fucking successful in your early 20s. You can make so much money. And age is just a number. And like, like just prove to them, prove to the world that you can do this.
Mhm.
I know for me that when I would have the doubters, like that was fuel for my motivation on so many days. Because I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm just going to prove everybody wrong that I can do. I can travel the world. I can have a baby at home. I can start an online business after being a nurse. Like I just wanted to like prove people wrong, and that was one of my biggest sources of motivation. So yeah. Cool. Okay. Anything else that you feel like you still want to go through in this session today?
No, I feel like I have a plan. I feel like that I understand what I should be doing and how I can start building an audience and cultivating relationships. So I'm feeling so much more secure about the tactical side of that. And then also diving in a little bit to the behind the scenes has been really helpful.
Awesome. Definitely. Okay. So then our plan is that, yeah, you're going to start advertising, doing some like free sample sessions. You're going to do 10 of those. It's kind of at the end of the month here. We're kind of at a weird spot, but that actually might be good. You could say something along the lines of like, I'm giving away free 10 sessions and you need to let me know by the end of the month because they're not going to be available anymore. Like, that urgency is really, deadlines and urgency is really good for marketing and filling things up fast.
Okay.
Perfect. And then usually I would ask about accountability. You're really good at being accountable to yourself, but is there anything that I can help you with being accountable for with these goals?
No, I don't have anything planned for social next week, so I'm ready to like dive deep into this and just start planning this out and making sure it's all good to go for next week.
Perfect. All right. You can always tag me on the post as well. I mean, I actually would love if you do that because I just like to see what you're up to and stay on top. And then I can help you with the algorithm as well of like, commenting on your post and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, feel free to tag me.
great.
And then what's one new thing you learned about yourself from today's session?
Hmm. Today's session, I learned that it's okay to have weaknesses, that it only leads to improvement, and to not lean in so much on my strengths and not put so much time and effort behind them. I know I'm going to do the social content. I know that I love that. So then using that as a reward for doing some of the things that make me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I want to acknowledge you for that is like, yeah, you recognized really quickly, like, okay, I know this is important to connect and engage, and I'm not really doing that. So how can I be doing that more? Right. You could have really stayed in this spot of like feeling resistant or feeling fearful or not wanting to do it, but you had this really open mindset of like, okay, I know this is important in business. I know this is going to help me to get towards my goal. So what can we do about this? And that's a beautiful mindset to just have for anything in life that you want to be successful around.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, beautiful session today, Kelsey. Thank you so much for letting me guide you on this journey, and I look forward to chatting next week.
Thanks, Krista. I hope you have a good week.
Thank you. Bye.